Welcome to the Education Exchange. I am Superintendent Jeremy Caius, your host, and today we are here to talk about diploma seals, and we are going to tee this off with our seal team here at Tolleson Union High School District. And so, Christina, Brittany, Caitlin, if you could each introduce yourself.
Absolutely. My name is Christina Boston. I'm the Director of Multilingual Multicultural Education.
Brittany Moreno, English Acquisition Program Coordinator. I'm Caitlin Shaw. I'm the Instructional Leadership Coordinator for World Languages.
All right, so let's talk about diploma seals. First, let's explain what they are for everyone, because I'm thinking diploma seal, and what I'm picturing right now is maybe like something off of Bridgerton, you know, like you're rolling up the diploma into a nice little scroll looking thing, and then you're pouring some wax on it, and you got your little logo, you're pressing it down, and that's it's sealed. And I'm thinking that's not what we're doing for diploma seals. I'm hoping. So who wants to start us off first? Christina, explaining some of the diploma seals.
Absolutely. We have 4 Arizona diploma seals that we have certified here in Tolleson Union High School District. For those of being with the seal, you want to pass that to me, Ms. Caitlin? We have 4 chords that go with them. First is our seal of civics for civic literacy, and then the blue, yellow, and red that signifies the Arizona flag is the seal of biliteracy. The pink chord that the students get once they earn it
Looks like a candy cane a little bit.
This pink chord looks really yummy, actually, performing visual arts. And then the final chord is green, white, and yellow, which signifies the personal finance chord. Again, students can wear these chords during graduation, which is a huge plus for them earning that diploma seal. The actual seal is, for this one, is for seal of biliteracy. It's copper coated as the seal of Arizona, and this actually affixes to the diploma itself. So once the student earns a seal of biliteracy, they get this on their diploma. The kids can earn up more than one seal. They can have one in personal finance and in biliteracy and vice versa. It is an opportunity for the kids to show the seal of biliteracy is what we kind of take over here in the multilingual, multicultural education. And I'll pass it to Ms. Caitlin so she could share of how you earn that seal.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are 4 steps that the students have to kind of check off in order to earn their seal of biliteracy. So other than being a graduating student from our district, they have to earn a 2.0 GPA overall in all of their ELA courses. Then they also have to complete 2 assessments. So there's an English language assessment as well as a world language assessment. So once they've demonstrated that they have proficiency in both of those languages, then they're eligible to earn our biliteracy seal.
Now, I'm assuming that our most popular biliteracy seal is going to be for Spanish.
Absolutely.
But what other type of biliteracy seals do we have out there right now? Do we have some other languages that people are earning these seals in?
Yes. So the most common one, other than Spanish, is actually Swahili that I'm seeing come through. So we have French, Mandarin, Hindi, Vietnamese. I saw Dari on our list this year. So that's one of our goals, is to not only expand the number of students that achieve the seal, but also make sure we're recognizing all of the different languages in our community.
And is that really it? You can get a biliteracy seal in any language? Is there any limitation? It's just any language?
Even ASL.
Nice. Now I'm looking at these chords. Absolutely beautiful chords. I'm a little partial towards the finance one,
Right.
just because of, some of my background in history. Plus, green's my favorite color, so that really works for me. But in addition to these beautiful chords that you get to wear, at graduation, and this nice looking, seal, almost looks like a sticker that you can place onto your. It's not the wax that I was going for with the Bridgerton look, but it's a nice looking sticker, so I'm good with that on your diploma. But besides that, what is the value of earning one of these diploma seals? Like, what does it actually mean for the student? How does it help the student either with post-secondary education or going out there in the workforce? Like, what does the seal signal to any destination that student's going to after high school?
Sure. So what's really cool is our seals are relatively new in the state and then throughout the nation as well, but we're just starting to get some research back on what it does for students going to post-secondary education. They're showing that students that earn any of the graduation seals for their state actually have higher numbers of enrollment in universities, but also they're more likely to stay enrolled in that university upwards of their sophomore or junior year. I think it really teaches them perseverance, and they're really intrinsically motivated to do something for themselves.
In addition to Superintendent Caius, the seal of biliteracy is also a global seal. So,
Hmm.
because it follows the ACTFL standards, it can be used in a different country if the students were to go
Hmm.
to a different country. It is part of their diplomas. It's also attached to their transcripts. And if they are competitive, right, in the workforce, the global economy, they can say that they're biliteracy and it's been
Hmm.
certified. So, that's
Yes.
huge.
Hmm.
So, as you know, here at Tolleson, we have moved towards recognizing our bilingual employees by honoring them with a stipend because we know when you speak more than one language,
Hmm.
and because we have a community that speaks more than just one language, that you're able to better service our community, and we definitely value those who can speak more than one language. Uh, we've we've had some automatic qualifiers, such as some of our teachers who already have those endorsements. Uh, I'm thinking, as an employer, and I'm hoping other employers are thinking this way. If you have this seal on your diploma, I think that should probably be an automatic qualifier to say that yes, you are definitely entitled to a bilingual stipend. You've demonstrated uh, to our district that you can speak more than one language. So, what would be your thoughts around employers who start to gravitate towards that and looking at the seal and say, if you honor bilingual, speakers, that this is a way that you know that they are bilingual and should be receiving your stipends?
I think that's a go for the community, for Tolleson itself, and just the opportunity for our students, right? Because if we're saying that they've been certified, Arizona's saying that they're certified, this should be something that's um, an opportunity for employers to pick up and say, "Hey, look at my transcripts. It says I'm seal of biliteracy. I've earned it, and it certifies it in that language." So, absolutely, we what we've done here at Tolleson, honoring bilingualism and as a superpower. Kudos to the entire community and your leadership.
Now, when I'm looking at what we put people through to be able to get that bilingual stipend, the nice long tests, I've heard lots of results about you know people who are completely fluent. They've Spanish has been their first language, and they get afraid of the test
Hmm.
because of how difficult the test was. Obviously, a difficult process right now to get a and I my Spanish is nowhere near good enough that I wouldn't even think about looking at the test.
Mhm.
Um, but what does the process look like for earning this seal? Like how intense is it? Like what exactly are they doing? I mean, are we talking about to get a seal of biliteracy? You took like a 1 hour test, or like what
Hmm.
exactly are they going through to be able to earn this seal?
So it depends on the language. Each language has their own test or their own assessment. So the most commonly used assessment we use is called the Apple, that oversees the most spoken languages in our community. But there are other alternative assessments too, like for our students that speak Swahili or even Hindi, they take a different test. And so each one kind of has its own qualifications, or it has its own rigor behind it. The Apple, which is our most common one, has 4 different assessments the students have to take. There's reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And within that test, the speaking prompts, for example, there's 6 different speaking prompts the students have to respond to. In writing, there's 6 different writing prompts the students have to respond to. So it is a very rigorous test.
Yeah, that sounds challenging. I know people who can't pass a listening test in their own native language.
Hmm.
So doing it in multiple languages,
Absolutely.
that seems difficult. Um, if it's a perfect world,
Hmm.
and you three had the ability to take these seals of biliteracy and show everyone exactly how much value should be placed on them, uh, whether it's a post-secondary education institution or an employer
Hmm.
or the military, like what would you want people to put behind these? How would you want them to honor the fact that we have students who are earning these seals?
At first, I'd like to see that there was a competitive edge, right? If a student has a seal affixed to their transcript, to their diploma, it's a huge up for them. We've already tested them; they're ready to go. They're on the job. Let's do it. Whether it's STEM, whether it's technology, whether it's public relations, they're ready to roll. They can go to Univision, right,
Hmm.
and get a job right away because Arizona says they are certified, and we're not relating to the employer to get that certification. We're already giving it to them here as a senior in high school. And even our English acquisition students that come in learning English, they take the Azella, the Arizona English Language Learner Assessment. And if they take it during high school, that's their first ELA, one part of the process to earn a biliteracy. Ms. Brittany, do you want to add to that about biliteracy through Azela
Yeah.
proficiency?
So the AZELA is the Arizona English Language Acquisition Assessment, and our English language students or English learner students will, there are 4 domains, which is very similar to the seal by literacy. They have the listening, reading, writing, and speaking part. And we have about 1,500 students receiving, or EL students, and we have about 1,400 students receiving services. So at the end of the year, in the spring, which is in February, they'll be taking that assessment to demonstrate their proficiency in English. And they also understand the importance of, after this assessment, they're eligible, or they are on the right path to take that seal by literacy. And since they've already taken an assessment very similar, they're able to just take it now in their native language.
So how long, if you had to guess for like your average student, how long are they going through all of this different testing to earn like a seal of biliteracy? Like how long is that process? And is it like an all at once thing? Like, hey, clear your calendar for today. Today you're doing nothing but testing for your seal of biliteracy. Or is it kind of like today you're going to do listening, maybe next week you'll do, writing? Like how does that process look?
It's kind of different depending on the student, because other ways that the students could earn their seal of biliteracy could be through AP test scores also. So if they demonstrate a 3 on either AP English or any of the AP Spanish, French courses that we offer, that qualifies them as well. Also, any of our kiddos that are in dual enrollment their senior year for English, if they can pass that final exam at the end of the year, that also qualifies them to earn the seal of biliteracy. So if we're taking a student who's just sitting down to do that Apple test, that test usually can be an all-day test depending on the student, all depending on how long they want to take on those individual portions of the test. But if we're looking at a kiddo maybe taking an alternative route, like going through the AP courses, dual enrollment, or anything like that, then it can look a little different.
So it's a kind of a double-edged sword. It's like, yes, it is. It could be a difficult test. It could be a full day worth of testing. But if you've gone through this, I mean, at least then anyone on the other side that we're saying you really need to honor this seal, they know that they had to put in the work to earn the seal. It wasn't just something that was just handed to them because they walked up to somebody and said, "Hey, by the way, I speak Spanish and English.
Correct.
Give me my seal."
Yeah.
So at least on the back end of it, people know you should value it. It was a lot of work to actually earn the seal.
Yeah, and they can receive a certificate from ACTFL, which does do our national world language standards. They can receive a certificate, which is the same certificate I received when I got my bachelor's degree in Spanish. So they're getting a really great piece of documentation to certify their language abilities.
All right, so we talked about the process and the possibility of this being a full day test to go after these seals. But tell me a little bit more, like, when is the appropriate time? Like, is this something you could do in your freshman year? You have to wait till your senior year? If it's like a month before graduation, is it too late to do it at that point? Like, when is a good time to go after your seal?
I would definitely encourage all of the freshmen to start looking at it, because one of the ELA assessments that can qualify a student for the seal of biliteracy is the ACT Aspire they take their freshman year. So they could get one of their qualifications done immediately and then go on to test for that Apple maybe their junior or senior year. Last year, we had a student who identified herself about a week before graduation and said, "Hey, I see all my friends getting these certificates, and like I can speak Spanish and French, and I want to make sure that I do get my seal of biliteracy." So she tested. We ran that report, I think, the Friday before graduation, and raced over to Copper Canyon to make sure that she had her seal and her cords at graduation.
So was it that she saw everyone getting the cord? She's like, "That looks cool. How did you get that?"
Yeah,
and then
she
she's
just-
like,
she
"I
was
want
hearing
one
about
of
it.
those." And you're like, a week before graduation,
We
like,
made it work.
hurry up, take the test. We're gonna
Yeah.
get you the cord.
Thankfully, we had a really supportive assessment team over there in our building, and then working with Miss Valenzuela at Copper Canyon too, to ensure that that kiddo had time to test. Because that's also a big ask, is like, well, where do we put all these kids to test on our campuses for that extended period of time? So Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's really never too late. I mean, the earlier you can identify yourself, or if we can explain to our feeder schools that those incoming freshmen, that first chance to get that proficiency would be the ACT Aspire, that'd be great.
Now, if you're a student and right now you do speak 2 languages fluently, what does that look like? Do they just show up to one of their teachers one day, or they go to the counselor's office? Like, how do they say, by the way, I want to have that seal. I want to be able to wear that cord. You know, which one is it? It's this one, the blue,
Yes.
red, yellow. Like that's really coordinated with my gown colors, and I'd like to have that cord on. Like, how do they go? Who do they talk to first about going after this seal?
Yeah, so they could identify themselves to their teachers and say that this is something that they're interested in doing. I just had a great conversation yesterday with a math teacher who said, you know, I have a kiddo who speaks another language that is not in one of the world language programs, and that's a student that by self-identifying we were able to catch. There's also a lot of data that we can pull looking at home languages, looking at students in our native Spanish courses or in the AP level courses as well. In my perfect world, the students would be able to identify themselves and advocate for themselves, but they can talk to their teachers, counselors, administrators, and kind of make sure that they're on the right pathway to earning the seal.
Now, do we put any information out to teachers about kind of like, you know, with we have child find for gifted and everything else? Do we do something where it's like, because there's a lot of students who won't raise their hand for anything, especially if you tell them like, hey, there's an extra test and a little extra work involved. They're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm actually, that's not any of my favorite colors on that cord. I think I'm fine. Do we have anything where we're putting out to teachers saying like, if you know a student is bilingual, tell them to come forward and earn their biliteracy seal? Like, are we encouraging teachers to identify students and talk to students and encourage them to go after these seals?
That's one of my personal goals this year in this role, is to help inform more of the teachers of this opportunity for the kiddos. We're also looking at how do we advertise in the classes? How do we talk to the kids and explain to them why we think that they should take this test or why we think that this would benefit them? My bigger plans include, you know, can we pull the kids one day during like a flex session and really show them the benefits of earning the seal, what they'll walk away with, and talk to them kind of the importance of demonstrating their bilingual abilities. I really want to tap more into the fact that like being bilingual, like Ms. Boston said, is a superpower. It should be something that we recognize. It shouldn't necessarily be like a hindrance to anybody's education. So that's my goal this year, is to get more out onto the sites and advertise a little bit more.
In addition to, we had some Arizona Department of Ed come out to talk to our teachers during Professional Development Day so they can get an insight as to what are the seals that are available and how can the students obtain them. So we're doing the work, we're doing the public relations, just like Ms. Sarah, pushing like, what is seal of biliteracy? What are all the seals all about? And how can we get our students in? Just last year, we had 179 students earn the seal of biliteracy. So we're closely going up and up and up. And so right now we're actually on track over at West Point. They already had some numbers that are just like, whoa, oh yeah, they're just going to reach that in just one school. So we're super excited of the opportunities that our students have, seniors here in Tolleson, as part of the seal of biliteracy.
Now, we just had a commitment day not too long ago.
Yes.
Almost 3,600 seniors out there. When you're looking at like what the goal should be, so you said we just had 175. What would be a number that we would hit where you would feel like we have really reached out and identified all the students who should definitely be eligible for this seal, to wear this cord? You know, what kind of numbers are you looking for where you're like, we did it, we're reaching them, they understand this is available, they understand this is a benefit, like we're getting through to all the students who should be wearing these cords and getting these seals?
Oh, wow. It's just an opportunity that I think if this was on my transcript a long time ago, you know, I had to go to ASU to get our classes, and that's certified. If this is certified, it's an opportunity up. I would say that every senior, or even 500 at each site, like 300, 400. Let's look at what are the opportunities so that our world language division continues to grow and students feel honored and really spirited as far as their bilingualism. So Sir, it's on. Let's get the
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get into
it.
let's get into the thousands
Yes,
district wide.
absolutely.
I think we definitely have the students out there who can speak more than one language.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get them identified. We need to let them know that this is something that's it's tangible for them. It's something they can go after. And it's valuable. I mean, I don't know what other carrots can we dangle in front of them to make them want to go after this. I mean, the cord is beautiful. Did you guys design these cords? Are these
No,
already
they're from the
established
state.
cords from the
Yeah.
state? Well, they did a good job. They look beautiful. But what other carrots can we dangle in front? Can we boost like their GPA or something if they got a seal?
Ooh.
Can we, is there a scholarship they can go after for post-secondary education because they hold
Yes,
this
there
seal?
are. There are a lot of scholarships that are out there that if you can demonstrate proficiency in multiple languages, it does make you eligible for that scholarship. We also had our inaugural Achieving Our A celebration this past year, which was an opportunity to celebrate any of the students who earn any of the 4 seals, as well as demonstrated proficiency on the Azella. And I thought that was really cool because I feel like those awards ceremonies or assemblies even don't really happen as much in the high school level as they do at the lower levels. And so we had about 400 students be invited to that, including all of their families. So it was a great celebration we did last year at West Point. We're on track to do it again this year. Like Ms. Boston said, we already have about 189 applicants or students who are eligible to earn the seal this year. Last year in the state of Arizona, there was about 2,200 students that earned the seal of biliteracy. We were, I think, roughly around 7% of that number. So I would like to see us grow exponentially because I do know we have the resources that we can tap into to celebrate these students and their accomplishments.
Oh, I think we can do 2,200 on our own.
Let's,
okay.
Let's go. Let's get out there.
Let's
You're
get
gonna
this.
have to
Let's
help
get
me
this
come
going.
advertise.
Yeah, let's get this going so big that I mean 400 district wide the first year of launching this. That's great, but I think we can get it up big enough to where you have to do these events at every individual high school
That would be
because
good.
there's just too many to bring into one location like that. That's where we want to shoot for with getting these advertised and getting these students recognized for their biliteracy skills.
It also starts at our feeder schools. So we're hoping that when they do the go-arounds at each feeder school that we can say, hey, have you thought about the Arizona Diploma seals now? Even starting thinking of what languages that are available that they're working on now. So pushing that through the 8th grade.
So, and I know all students don't listen to the podcast, no matter how much I wish that they would.
Come
but
on.
if you could talk to all
Subscribe.
students, if you could put a message out there to all students, and I ask this question of each one of you, what's something you would want to say to the students to encourage them to go after their seal of biliteracy?
Do it now. My friends, if you do it now, you're saving yourself a lot of money from college because I did it in college. If this was available when I was in high school, I would have went for it and be proud of my language, my superpower in the now, because it's going to save you some opportunities later. It's on the workforce. It's on your transcripts. It's a cord that you get to show pride in at graduation. So get talking to your counselors, get talking to your teachers, and do it now. Don't wait.
Yeah, I would say the same thing where it's an opportunity at your school to just do it. So just take it now rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. And myself as a second language learner too, I really want to encourage those kiddos that are taking either Spanish, French, or Mandarin for the first time that, it is 100% possible to become bilingual. If you grew up speaking English, you do have to persevere and you have to put some hard work into it. But there's a lot of rewards coming on the other side of being somebody who was able to go through that process. So I definitely want to tap into those kiddos that are like, I don't know if I want to take French, Mandarin, or Spanish 5, 6. That seems hard. Like, just do it. Do it because all of these opportunities are going to open up for you.
And the languages are out there. There's a test for native cultures. There's a test for everything. So if you know a language, share with the adults around you so that we can see about getting that assessment for you.
Well, we appreciate all of our students out there who speak more than one language,
Yes.
who bring their superpower to us, and definitely appreciate all of you recognizing all those students and taking all these efforts to go out there and find these students and get them recognized for their superpower. And we also appreciate all of our listeners for tuning in week after week here on the Education Exchange, where we aim to enlighten our parents and empower our students. And we're going to empower you to go get some biliteracy seals.
Yes.
And looking forward to when we're seeing you all. We're holding up this big cardboard sign that says, I earned the seal of biliteracy. So thank you once again, everyone, for tuning into the Education Exchange.
And that's the end of our show. Thank you for listening. If you have questions, want more information, or would like to be a guest on the Education Exchange, please send us an email at podcast@tuhsd.org. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and tune in next week to the Education Exchange. You can catch all episodes on your favorite streaming devices or directly at www.tuhsd.org/podcast.